What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm gonna show you how we made these. Beautiful, delicious, crispy, cheesy, amazing Neapolitan style pizzas. One in a margarita and one in a cheesy pepperoni. Coming up. Bones, what do you think about this new Gosney?
I love it.
We just got this about 2 months ago, and this thing is absolutely awesome. Shout out to Gosney, thank you for sending us that. And over the last 2 months, we've been doing a lot of test runs on it, trying to figure it out, because me and this guy aren't very good at making pizza. And by that, I mean I'm not very good at making pizza.
I'm okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He used to work at a pizza shop, and he won't stop reminding me of it. But as you know, there is plenty of styles of pizza out there. I'm really keen to learn the New York style, but to start things off, we're gonna kick it off with the Neapolitan style, which we've made several of, and they're all pretty good. But luckily, we've got Dave!
Hello.
Wilson's Barbecue in the house, all the way from the UK. And you already went down the entire pizza making YouTube rabbit hole, right?
I did. Before barbecue, I was obsessed with pizza.
Which is really convenient because I'm in the middle of that rabbit hole. So he's gonna show us how he does it and probably save me a lot of pain in just doing a lot of research. So Dave, what's step one?
Add the water to the flour.
All right, let's get that dough started.
So Neapolitan pizza, typically or classically, and if you want to be real authentic, it can only have 4 ingredients: flour, water, yeast, and salt.
And our flour today is a 00, which is very important, very high gluten, right?
It is, yeah. It's also ground finer, so you get a much kind of silkier texture. And the Caputo brand as well is the one that's used by most good professional pizza chefs. So we'll start off with the stand mixer because we're going to need this pretty heavily. It's also going to be a pretty wet dough. So the mixer is going to do most of the work for us, and then we'll take it out and do the final little mix up by hand.
I like that a lot because kneading things by hand can be really messy and take a lot longer. Oh my God, it's heavy. How much is a typical dough ball at the end?
I think Neapolitan is generally between 230 and 250 grams.
Got it. So how many balls you want to make, multiply that, and then what's the salt percentage?
So we're going to go 3%.
3% salt, you said 0.25% yeast?
But you're going to have to adjust the yeast depending on the type of yeast that you've got, whether you're using fresh yeast, instant yeast, active dry yeast, but more importantly, how long you're going to be fermenting the dough for. So if you're leaving it for 6 days in the fridge, you might want to use less yeast. If you're doing a room temperature overnight leaven, then you might want to use less yeast. If it's going to be in a warmer environment.
But for a typical 2-3 day ferment,
yeah,
that's what you'd go for?
Yeah.
Perfect. Flour in first. How much water?
So this is about a 63% hydration dough.
And you wouldn't recommend that for a home oven, right?
No, not really.
But because you're cooking at 900 degrees, it'll work out well.
Yeah. If you're making pizza at home in the home oven, you want to try this style, 60% is going to be pretty bang on.
Salt now?
No, we'll put the salt in after.
Oh, okay, why is that?
The salt is going to potentially inhibit the yeast doing its job. So we're going to give it a little mix first and then bring all the dough together, and then we'll add the salt in after. And that just gives the yeast some time to do its job and help with the gluten formation.
Going with instant yeast today, right on in. Boop.
Bring everything together into a rough dough ball.
Okay. That flour does look a lot finer. Cool. Do we add the Miller Lite now?
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking for, just kind of peeling away from the sides, all come together?
Yeah, exactly. Just make sure everything's got a little bit of water touching it, bring it into a nice shaggy dough ball.
And now we let it sit for 20 minutes?
Yeah, so we'll just let it hang out for 20 minutes, let the flour start to hydrate, and then we'll come back to it and start properly kneading it. 20
minutes has gone by. Dave, are you ready to add some salt?
I'm ready.
Big reveal, looks similar, a little more relaxed.
Yeah, it's looking good. And obviously, you may need to add more flour, more water, depending on humidity in your area. You just adjust until it's not too sticky, comes away from the sides of the bowls nice and easily, also not too dry.
So now just mix it for a good 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes is a good starting point. You'll know when it's fully mixed when it looks nice and smooth on the outside.
Here we go with the salt. That seems like a lot of salt.
It does.
If I was using finer salt, it probably wouldn't look so ridiculous.
Yeah.
10, maybe 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
Beautiful, supple dough. Boop. Beautiful stuff though. Very nice and smooth.
Yeah.
Just make it into a nice taut ball. Now you're saying that there's actual rules to making Neapolitan pizza.
There are, yeah.
So rule number 1 is what, 4 ingredients only in the dough?
Yeah, I don't even think you're allowed to add olive oil to call it a true Neapolitan pizza.
And we like to bend the rules around here, but it's just like the rules of barbecue. You gotta learn the rules before you know how to break them, right? Love it.
I can't remember all the rules. So there's a rule about how you put the olive oil onto the top of the pizza once it's baked.
Really?
So it has to go on in a 6.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got, when you put it onto the peel and into the oven, you have to stretch it twice. And it has to be baked under or at 90 seconds. Well, I think there's World Pizza Championships and stuff like that. So
yeah. We'll do our best.
Yeah. So we are gonna bulk ferment this overnight. So we just need to get it into a container.
Nice little proofing box. Got these on Amazon. Any oil going in or just going in dry?
No, we're going dry.
So just on the countertop overnight?
Yep.
24 hours later, let's take a look at this dough. Ooh, bubbling away. It looks really good.
Yeah, we're gonna break these down into 5 250 gram dough balls.
Boop.
249, that'll do.
Oh! On the dot.
Pick it up and then just kind of start pushing it outwards like this, kind of make a little disc, and then start using my palm to push it all together at the bottom, get a nice taut, smooth ball. The bottom is still not tucked yet. You can give it a little table roll. Goal here really is to make sure that it's nice and tight all the way over and the bottom is pinched up, and then you got yourself a nice dough ball.
Beautiful. Back into the proofing box, looking absolutely beautiful. Overnight?
Overnight.
Up to like what, 3 days is good on these?
Yeah, you could do, I mean, to be honest, you could just let them rest, bring them up to room temperature, and they'll be perfectly easy to stretch out, and you could cook them straight away. Or you could ball them up like we're gonna do, put them back into the fridge for another day, allow that flavor to build up even more. Take them out of the fridge 4 hours before you plan to stretch them, and you'll be good to go.
It's about 24 hours later. Bones is here.
Hey.
So I pulled that dough out of the fridge probably 3-4 hours ago to come up to temp. It's looking really good. Honestly, I don't know where it is right now, but it's finally pizza night, so now it's time to make some sauce. So when it comes to making pizza sauce, there's a lot of ingredients depending on what style you're going for, but a lot of times it starts with some good old-fashioned canned San Marzano tomatoes, and depending on the style, you can throw salt, sugar, oregano, chili flakes, olive oil, but for a Neapolitan, what are we looking for?
San Marzano. Generally, whole peeled tomatoes in a can are gonna be a higher quality than a chopped or crushed, that kind of thing.
Do we want to add any water or anything? Rinse out the can at all?
No.
Heard. Just tomatoes? Is that it?
Well, we're gonna add 1% salt.
1% salt.
Yeah, of the total weight of that can. You can use a blender, you definitely can use a hand blender. Some people say that if you put it in a blender, the seeds get torn apart and crushed up, and that's gonna lead to a bitter flavor.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah, so hand crush them.
Oh, this is very satisfying. Ooh, hope I don't spray the camera. How fine are we trying to get?
Generally, I like to go pretty fine.
And just like that, our super simple sauce is done. Next up, we gotta talk about cheese. Bones will teach us everything we need to know.
This is shredded. This is whole. These are balls.
That's all you need to know.
So we're gonna be using fresh mozzarella, and I meant to get fresh buffalo mozzarella, but as I was saying to Nick earlier, I can speak American pretty well, but I can't read American. And I thought this was buffalo mozzarella. It turns out it's just cow's milk mozzarella, which is gonna be a little less tangy than buffalo mozzarella, but it's gonna do.
And for the other style, we're gonna go kind of Neapolitan meets New York, like your classic, Domino's-esque pizza, which is mozzarella. And this is what you're gonna find on the shelf around these parts, which is part skim, which is good. It doesn't have as much flavor. So what you really wanna find is the whole milk, full fat, low moisture mozzarella. We got this at a restaurant supply store in a big block, but you can also get it online. They also have it at like higher end grocery stores.
If you go to the deli counter,
Yeah.
they usually have like a boar's head full whole milk chunk. Just ask for like a slice.
Right,
Just like
right.
give me about this much, and they can usually do that, and you shred it yourself.
Yeah, the whole fat, it has a lot more flavor. The skim is good though because it doesn't break as easily. So a lot of people for New York styles will kind of mix the two to get the best of both worlds. So we're gonna throw this on the box grater. What do we do with the not buffalo?
Tight little squeeze, just to dry off the surface, and then you're left with a nice little drier ball of mozzarella to work with, and just gonna pinch off some bits, and just pinching it off into sizes that is gonna be easy for you to put on the pizza later.
So somebody accidentally threw the dough into the fridge a couple hours ago.
It was me.
It was an accident, but we got that back out chilling. So we got an extra couple minutes to kill here. So I think it's a perfect amount of time for a Bones try something weird. What's on the menu today, buddy?
This is assorted small fish. There's a lot of options. I like that they're individually packaged. I think they're spicy,
Okay.
pickled pepper, and sauce flavored.
Sauce flavored?
That's what it says.
I'm going for the sauce. It's
Sauce.
vague enough that I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the pickled pepper. That sounds the weirdest. Pickled pepper fish.
Oh, wow.
Chunk of fish there.
You don't like it?
We'll see. Never judge a food by its smell. It's really chewy.
I'm not supposed to be part of this.
I can't tell. I don't know if I like it or if I don't like it.
Are they all
The
individual
texture
fish?
is bad. Yeah, there's like a bunch of little guys in here. Let's sort of little fish. It's almost like fish jerky.
Yeah,
That's what it looks like.
exactly like that.
Let's go for it.
Not spicy.
Honestly, I would put this in the beef jerky category where, like, if I was on a road trip and I wanted my car to stink, this would be a good option.
I actually quite like that. That one's
Yeah.
pretty good.
That,
It's
I
spicy.
like the spice level of that one. This is the red one. We're gonna see what this one is.
Yeah.
I'm fine with eating it, but I would never buy this.
Yeah. That looks good. I can smell it from here. It's very fermenty, got a lot of bubbles in there. Ah, and now it's time to stretch some dough.
Drop some flour into the grooves where the balls separate, and then just go down and cut it out. But Neapolitan doughs rarely come out round, like out of the dough box. So you just shape it when it comes out.
Ooh.
You don't have to be particularly skilled. Literally just form what you think the crust should look like, leaving a big mound in the middle. Then once you've got that crust set up, just use your hands to push it out. Give it a little flip over. Again, just securing that crust.
And now you're gonna throw it 20 feet into the air.
To be honest, for the most home cooks, the easiest way, I think, is just to give it a little pull out with your knuckles like this. The other option is to set it down and just pull it out with your palms.
In my experience, this is the hardest part, working with the actual dough, stretching it out without making holes, making it too thin.
So we're not going to build it on the peel because it might get a little bit too sticky and it might have trouble getting it into the pizza oven.
So we're making a classic margarita pizza, right?
Yes, sir.
And that is cheese, basil, sauce.
Yeah,
That's just super simple.
simple as that.
Little olive oil.
So we're going to hit it with a little bit of Parmesan. Then we're going to go on with some mozzarella. And I know a lot of people say that's not enough cheese, but the whole point is that you get a little bite of cheese, you get a little bite of really good quality tomatoes. It's not supposed to be like an American New York style pizza.
And then we go on with the mint.
A few little bits of basil, dust the peel a little bit. And then we're going to slide it on. And then we're going to give it a second stretch. But we give it one last stretch before it goes into the pizza oven. And then just before that, some good quality olive oil.
Looking good to the Gosney. And we've had this thing heating up for the last hour at least. And it is ripping hot. What are we at, like 950 in there?
Yep.
It's all about the launch. Ooh, you've done this before. A lot of top heat. The reason we heated it up so much is mostly to get that stone preheated because it takes a long time for that thing to get hot. That was our biggest problem at first. It was we had too much top heat and not enough bottom heat to get that browning that we're after. So letting this thing preheat for a good long time is always a good idea. It's so pretty. What's the cook process like?
Yeah, pretty quick. Just got to keep checking the underside because we did preheat that stone so much. Could burn. So just going to keep checking it. It's always good to preheat your turning peel, your Gosney turning peel. And if you can, try and just turn it in the same spot that you landed it in. It'll be a little bit cooler than the rest of the pizza stone floor.
It really does cook in like 90 seconds though.
Yeah.
It's wild. Where do you stand on the basil before going in versus basil topping afterwards?
To be honest, I like it in both. Fresh basil and cooked basil are just as good as each other.
That looks really good.
So one thing you can do is just dome it a little bit. So just put it in, top of the dome, cook that cheese, good to go.
Oh, please refrain from putting mackerel on this pizza.
I won't promise anything.
Dude, look at that big air bubble.
Bubble. Oh.
Score 1 to 10, how's he doing so far? Nice. All right, Mr. Gamboni, show us your tricks. Oh! Is this an average size for Neapolitan? Are they usually like 6 to 8 inches?
That is about right. Yeah, that's good. I think if it fits on the Gosney peel, then you're good.
Nice and smooth.
I always go to the edge because it's gonna puff out. It's the low moisture mozz, not the fresh mozz.
Pepperonis. We got ourselves some cupping chars or cupping crisps. These are just Hormel. These are the ones you want because they're made in a collagen casing, and the casing shrinks up before the meat cooks, which is what causes them to curl up into the little cups, and they get extra crispy. More cheese.
More cheese. Why not?
I like that trick because the cheese fries inside of the cups.
I think the problem with the pepperoni in this high heat oven is they crisp too fast. So no extra cheese. It's gonna oil it up, keep it not too crispy.
Good looking pie. Let's go.
Throw it in. Ready?
The immediate steam.
You just gotta be confident with that throw.
The launch. It's crazy. You can hear it crisping the pepperonis immediately. It's literally been like 14 seconds and you're going from raw to blackened.
Yeah.
So hot. Ooh, gooey. Smells so good. That looks so good. Come on. I'd take a bite out of that right now, and I think I will.
That Gosney miracle worker.
Not sponsored, just a fan. Yeah, it looks phenomenal. And here they are in all their glory, folks. A beautiful cheesy pepperoni pie and some lovely classic margarita pizza. I think it's time to dive in.
Dave's never seen a 6-slice pizza.
I haven't. No.
His mind has been blown.
Yeah.
Well, it's about to be. Let's see it. All right, boys, we've been making this pizza for the last like 17 days, it feels like. But let's dive in. What are you going for first?
This is closer, so I'm going to do it.
I was going to say classic margarita all day long.
The no meat pizza is an appetizer.
But the bottom looking phenomenal. Like,
Ooh.
just listen to this crust. And now we will all eat it at the same time. The sauce is so bright. The basil adds that freshness.
Yeah.
Like this honestly does eat like healthy. You know what I mean? As far as compared to this one,
Yeah.
at the very least. But
It's not like greasy.
it's not heavy.
No.
Yeah.
It's not too salty either.
Yeah.
The color on that crust though is perfect. I mean, for a pizza we just made 12 yards that way, this is phenomenal.
I used to make a lot of pizza in my oven, and I have a pizza stone. Like I've really like tried to perfect it. You can't make it at home like you can with this. It's amazing.
So quick too. Like I said, the juxtaposition of it takes 2 days to make the dough.
Yeah.
But then it's 90 seconds in the oven. It's wild. All right, I'm going for this slab of pepperoni here.
Yeah.
And again, we're not calling this a New York slice, so don't at me about that. Yeah. But like, it's cheesy, it's greasy, the pepperonis are charred. This is my kind of pizza right here. Oh,
Done.
that is so good.
That is ridiculous.
So good.
Too much for you to handle?
Yeah.
Now, Dave, what's your opinion on ranch on a classic margarita pizza? Extra charry. I know it looks black, but it's not bitter. It's not burnt.
Yeah.
It's just bread perfection. Like, look at the crumb on that crust. That is phenomenal.
I think my problem with burnt pizza is the crust is usually dry, but this is not a dry crust, and so it has all the flavor.
This is just like pillowy and doughy, crispy on the outside, but nice and soft on the inside, almost like a donut.
Yeah.
Also, it's like it's got a good amount of chew to it. This pizza is like what, 7 ingredients total? It's phenomenal. That is really good. Well, Dave, thank you for teaching us how to make a very delicious pizza.
But also, you don't need rules to make good pizza.
Tell that to the Italians.
Yeah.
I'm slightly Italian.
Are you?
Yeah. My last name's Gamboni. That's why my name is Bones.
It's not so much about the rules as much as it is like understanding like what goes into a good Italian style Napoli pizza.
And the real question is, now that we've learned the fundamentals of the dough and the sauce and whatnot, what kind of pizzas should we make next? I'm thinking a barbecue chicken needs to happen. We need to learn how to make our own pepperoni. Like, the list goes on. Let's eat a lot more pizza.
Yes.
Please.
And with this very last bite of Neapolitan style pizza crust, sorry, PP, you only get the crust this time. I think it's time for the official taste test. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic Neapolitan pizzas at home. Again, big shout out to Gosney. That dome is absolutely incredible. Big shout out to Dave from Wilson's Barbecue. Thank you for showing me the ropes, because that is definitely the best homemade pizza I've ever had. And I'm super pumped to move forward and keep trying to make new, exciting pizzas. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see me make more pizzas, and I'm all ears for what kind of barbecue concoctions we can come up with. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button on YouTube, know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.